Daylight, my MVVs, welcome.
Fear and suspicion takes over the palace of the Ooni of Ife as immunity saga deepens and alliances collapse. Even elders fighting against Ooni of Ife have allegedly, used this opportunity to hide Igbi and Ebony because it's looking as if from the very beginning they've been the ones sponsoring them and they have been the one giving them the arsenal to use against the Ooni of Ife. They say the atmosphere in the palace of the Ooni of Ife had shifted from open confrontation to a tense, uneasy quiet. The immunity removal saga involving Ebony and Igbi, is dragging on longer than anyone expected, and the longer it went, the more suspicion grew. People moved around carefully, watching what they said and who they said it to. All alliances that had seemed strong were now showing cracks, and some had completely collapsed. What deepened the tension was a growing belief among some chief and aide that certain elders who had quietly opposed the Ooni of Ife's recent decisions were now actively working against him. These elders were suspected of helping Ebony and Igbi avoid being found. The rumor was that they were protecting and providing shelter, or at least protecting their whereabouts so they could delay or completely avoid the immunity removal. The Ooni's close circle was aware of this suspicion, and they said that some advisors warned that the elders in question are not just acting out of sympathy for Ebony and Igbi, but are trying to weaken the Ooni's authority by showing that his orders could be ignored. This made the matter far bigger than a personal dispute. It is now being seen as a test of the Ooni's control over palace affair. Inside the palace, the mood, has unsettled. People who had once freely taken sides were now more cautious, unsure of where the tide was turning. Some who had supported Ebony earlier began to distance themselves, afraid of being linked to the elders rumored to be hiding her. Others who had kept quiet until now started opening back in the Ooni, sensing that the situation is shifting into something more serious. Now the question is, where are they? They say palace aides are sent to follow new leads on where they are. Meanwhile, a lot of people are even saying Ebony is in the UK. Oh, that is what they are saying. But usually, when she's in the UK, you see it, and there's no way Kabiyesi will not know that she is in the UK. They said some of the things that she's posting were things that she shot a long time ago. She's not in the UK. They believe that she is there in Ile-Ife, but her main family have come out to say that they have not seen her. Yes, she didn't go to her family house. And of a truth, some people are saying she's not there. But me, I don't believe that she's not there, because if she's hiding inside, okay, but the thing is that she may not be there, because a woman is not able to hide with a child. If you're able to hide with a child, then what does that mean? Is it that she shut the child's mouth? Because people around, there's a lot of betrayal going on right now, and they would have been able to tell the Ooni of Ife that she is there. But what is going on is that the elders suspected of involvement are not openly defying the Ooni, but they had stopped attending certain meetings or made excuses to avoid being present. When the issue was discussed earlier today, this only made suspicion was among the Ooni's loyalists. There was talk of confronting these elders directly, but the Ooni himself insisted that things be handled with caution so as not to create an open rebellion. For Kabiyesi's wives in the palace, the atmosphere is uncomfortable right now. Conversations about the immunity removal had become dangerous. No one wanted to be accused of siding with the wrong person. Some even stopped speaking about the matter entirely, focusing only on their daily routine to avoid drawing attention. So this is what has been going on in the palace. It's not been easy at all. They said recently, in council meetings, the behavior of an elder called Pa Ayo had started drawing attention in a way that could not be ignored. From the beginning of immunity removal process for Ebony and Igbi, Pa Ayo had been unusually vocal in questioning the necessity of the action. At first, some of the other elders thought it was simply his way of playing devil's advocate, but over time, his tone and persistence began to raise eyebrow. How can you question the necessity of this action? Are you comfortable with the way that things have been going in the palace? With the fact that nobody can drink water and drop cup? With the fact that we keep harvesting pots all over the place? Buried demonic pots all over the place. Are you comfortable with that kind of, issue happening in the palace? Are you comfortable with this back and forth movement, with this fight and all of that, with this animosity? How can you ask of the necessity of this action? Now, asking Kabiyesi to bind Ogunjaye is one thing. That is all we want. But there is no way an elder of this council can sit down and say that this action is not necessary. They said during one particular meeting, as the Ooni of Ife sat with his chiefs and elders to discuss the next step, Ayo spoke up against this time more directly. He argued that the immunity removal was creating too much unrest in the palace and that perhaps it would be better to resolve the matter quietly without following through on the traditional process. His words were met with silence at first, but then some elders began exchanging looks. One elder, clearly fed up, told him straight, Payo, the way you have been talking these days makes it look like you have a hand in what's going on. You keep defending these women. If you are the one hiding them, if you are the one keeping them, you need to come up, because this council must not hear that you had a hand in what is going on. And do not forget that whatever, is hidden under the sun, one day it comes out. And when that day comes, do not come here begging, because nobody is going to listen to you. They said, they come and cause rift though. They said the Ooni of Ife did not speak immediately, but his expression hardened. When he finally responded, he reminded the council that this was a serious matter of tradition and authority. He said any elder who was found to be aiding in the invasion of justice would be treated as an opponent of the throne. His warning was clear, and though he did not call Pa Ayo's name directly, everyone knew who he was referring to. Pa Ayo tried to defend himself, saying that he only wanted to avoid further division in the palace. He insisted he had no knowledge of, the women's whereabouts, but by now, the trust was already damaged. The elders who used to exchange friendly greetings with him before meeting began to keep their distance. Even outside the council, his presence in the palace corridor was met with cautious glances, because they feel like he's got something to do with what is going on. I'm going to bring you more update. Do not forget that these are all alleged, rumored, unverified information making the rounds on social media and should not be seen as fact.